What's up, guys? Welcome back to Shoney Small Engines. I have this Lawnboy that just came in with the Kohler motor on it, 149cc. And I just wanted a new self-propelled cable replaced, but when I got it in, I noticed there was a lot of grime on the deck, and that's not just dirt, that's actually oil in there. And these Kohler motors are notorious. They're notorious for leaking right there on the base pan gasket, the oil sump gasket. So I asked him if that was fine, if he wanted to replace it. He said sure. So I ordered it up. This is the gasket here. There's the part number, 1404113S. All right. So I wanted to make a video of going through how to replace that gasket out of. Let's get this motor off, get that gasket out of there, and fix that oil leak. So we need to remove the kill switch and the ground wire. So as far as everything on top, that's the only thing that's holding this together. Also, we need to remove this screw back here because that holds on the bottom belt cover. So let's get this on its side. So to get the motor off, we got to get all this off so we can slide the motor up that way. So we got to take the blade off here first. And then just remember the order of that: plate, bracket, blade, and final bracket. Okay, that should pop off. It does. Oh no. This is the cable for the drive, so I'm gonna have to get that off, but I don't want to mess with this too much. I just need to get this bolt off and this this clutch off so that the motor can go out the other side. You want to be careful with this nut here because I've seen this shaft break and then the motor is shot. So coming off shouldn't be a problem. Putting it back on, you gotta be careful. I'm gonna go nice and easy with this. Now, part of the clutch. And then the other half. So one belt rides in there, the other one rides behind. All right. So one's the self-drive, the other is the clutch. So now I got to get these 1/2-inch bolts loosened. Least favorite thing in the world because these things are notorious for breaking. Sorry, 3/9. We have 3/9/16 bolts holding the engine on. I just want to try to, there we go, crack them. I'm always nervous about this because they are, if they get seized or rusted, you can snap the head off and it turns into a nightmare getting them out. It is awful. All right, so they all loosen pretty well. I'm gonna get 2 of them out on its end. Let me get this last bolt out. Got it. All right. What I want to do first is get the oil out. All right, so you want to make sure the oil's out. You want to make sure the gas is empty. I'm going to tighten this back up right away so I don't forget. Flipping this and resting it on its top. But I'm going to want to clean all this before I start taking all these bolts out. I don't want any trash falling down inside the motor. So I'll pick you back up then. All right, so clean up a lot of the crap off the top here and underneath as much as I could. You don't want any of that dirt getting down inside there. So we have 7 5/16 bolts here. So I want to do a little bit of cleanup on this shaft here so that when I pop this seal up. They don't destroy the seal. I try to reuse it if I can. I have to inspect it afterwards. I'm also going to put a little bit of oil around it so it has a nice slippery surface coming off. Alright, this gasket came apart, but I'll show you exactly where it always goes bad. Right here. Right here. This always slides in for some reason. You can see that how the gasket surface is not even being laid on here. So that pops free and oil starts to seep out the front here. It gets all over the deck, all over the front of the engine here. So hopefully we can get this gasket off pretty easily without getting anything down inside. We'll clean up the surface a little bit and then we'll get the new gasket on. This is the most tedious part of this whole job. Just got to be careful not to scratch the aluminum surface, or you won't get a good seal on the next gasket. Now I got to get the gasket off of this one too. This oil pan is super clean, so and just for any of like the leftover, any of the leftover debris here, leftover gasket, I'm just gonna nice and lightly go over it. All right, I'm just gonna clean that up after I do this one. Not bad. Just want to make sure no dirt's down in there, and I did a pretty good job keeping that cleaned out. Now I just want to clean up the surface a little bit so we get a good seal, get all the oil off. All right, new gasket. Again, there's the part number. I'll put it in the description. Put a little bit of Permatex gasket sealer on. Kind of put it on thick first and then kind of smear it in. Now I'm just going to put a tiny bit of anti-seize on these dowel pins just for future. Seal. We'll put a little oil on that seal to make sure that goes on nice and smooth. Doesn't scratch up the seal. We want to make sure that the governor is pushed all the way in so it gets behind the paddle there. All right, cool. Well, let's get the bolts back on. These get torqued to 9 foot-pounds. Okay. I like to hit the mounting bolts with a little bit of never seize. All right, now I can flip it on its side. I'm going to clean this up quick. So a little bit of anti-seize on the clutch shaft. So the skinnier belt goes on the back of the clutch. And then there's a keyway, which you got to line that up just down there. And I got to move that out of the way. Okay, you got to make sure it gets in between the guide under there, otherwise you'll pinch it closed, and then as soon as you turn try to start it or try to turn the clutch on, it's just going to grab and pinch, and you're not going to have it. It's not going to move very well. A little bit of anti-seize on this one for the bearing. Put that cable on right away. That's the one that takes the brake off and tightens the clutch. Put a little anti-seize on the nut here. Tighten this down. This is the one you got to be careful on. If you tighten this too tight, you could break that shaft off, and then your motor is useless. I'm going to turn my torque all the way down. These are tight. Now this spring hooks right back here by the other spring, and then attaches to that. So that applies the brake, and the clutch stops the bleed. So when you engage the handle, pulls on tight against this, takes the brake off. This is your brake, and then spins your blade. Also, periodically clean your deck underneath here. This is terrible for your deck. This will rust your deck in no time. The blade's pretty sharp. I'm not even gonna mess with that. Drive cable's not here yet, but I'm gonna unhook it while I'm under here. You need a needle nose to pinch the sides. All right, let's get this back on its bottom. Now, in order to get this spring out, I have to remove this one next to it, which is really stupid. So I cheated a little bit. Technically, you probably have to take the clutch cable off to get this out, because you can't get this cable out of the way to get the spring out. So I just bent this tab for a second, pulled the cable out. Once I put the new one in, I'm going to bend that tab back, and then the new cable, the drive cable, will go right through that hole right there. So I'm going to leave it as is right now. This is what happened to the old cable. Top broke off. It doesn't glide very well either, so it's got a lot of torque on it and broke it. So I'll wait till that new cable to go in. I'm going to put some oil in it, see if we can start it. Takes a little over a half quart. Perfect. And then just connect the kill switch. And then the ground. gonna let that sit for a little bit, and I'm gonna check the front deck, see if there's any oil on it. I'll give it a good cleaning quick. So then I'll catch you up when I finish it, and we'll see what happens. All right, so new cable came in. Again, it's going to reverse this process. Got to get the spring down through this hole. Again, I moved that cable out of the way. So once that's down, I'm going to bring this back over. And then I want to straighten out this tab that I bent to get this in. So now it's straight again. Once that's straight, I can put this in, put the spring on, get this rubber grommet back in, and then just got to hook up the top. So to make this easier on me, I'm going to remove this and these two bolts. And the one back. Okay. All I gotta do is put that rubber grommet back in. All right, that's it. I'm just gonna take it outside, let it run for a little while. I let it sit for a couple hours. I do not see a single drop. The gasket looks nice and dry. So I'm gonna call that a success. Again, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Every view, every subscribe helps me. So again, thanks for watching. All right, it's been a day. I let it run a little while. I don't see anything. So this one is ready to be picked up.